Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Welcome to HOI Shabbat class titled Hebrew Etiquette. Etiquette. Okay, to be or not to be. Okay, this is class talking about how we should act, amongst each other, amongst the general public at large, amongst Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, Yahweh be the name of Heavenly Father, and Yahweh Shai be the name of His only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly called Jesus Christ. Welcome. Okay, first let's give all praise, honor, and glory, homage to the Most High, Yahweh, and in the name of His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai. All right, let's get started. Coming into the truth, how should we be acting? You know what I mean? New into the truth, finding out you're an Israelite, what I should be doing. Should I be doing the same thing I've been doing my entire life? Should I act like other people in order to bring them into the truth? Should I act like the drug dealer that is on the corner with the big car and fancy clothes, the women and everything? Should I act like that in the world? Should I act like Kamala Harris or, Donald Trump, so maybe one day I could be president of Babylon, you know what I mean? And make moves. It's all, for the Most High, right? Should I act like these people, or should I act like what the Most High intended me to act like? It's pretty much universal, not going too far to the left, too far to the right. He says, I need you to act a certain way, okay? And we're going to talk about that today. Let's start first with Colossians 3, verse 12. Shalom, everybody. Shabbat Shalom, everybody coming on. Very interesting news articles going around as far as Iran ready to strike Israel, drones flying in, Hezbollah, struck a city in Tel Aviv, or maybe a neighborhood in Tel Aviv with casualties. So we're getting closer and closer to what the scriptures talk about as Armageddon, the end of days. We are in the end of days, rather, but as far as the last battle, we're getting there. So we should act accordingly in order to make our election sure. And this is what we're going to talk about, etiquette. Shalom Yatai, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Khan, all praises. When you get it, you could bring it out. Baba Kashar.
This is the book of Colossians, chapter 3 and verse 12. When everybody has it, please say Khan.
Khan.
Verse 12. Put on, therefore, as the elect of Yahweh, holy and beloved, bowels of mercies, kindness, humbleness of mind, meekness, long suffering.
So we are, aim, you aim for the highest, right? To be part of the elect. So call that the hopeful elect. The aim is to be part of that elect, right? Being kind and humble, meek, bowels of mercies, okay, long suffering. Okay. That's what we should aim to be, man, I was never kind, man. I was always, a mean little something or other growing up. You know what I mean? I was mean to everybody, not meek, you know what I mean? I have a short temper, all these things, right? Well, you had to change, you know what I mean? Um, you want to be, possibly the elect, the hopeful elect. You want to be a ruler on this planet, right? Of course, how about Shem Shai, right? Shai is going to be dominant, and King David, but the 144,000, you possibly a part of that, you know what I mean? But you gotta humble up, right? That's Hebrew etiquette. It's to be humble, because one thing we should know is that we just like Paul said, don't know it all. Person that knows something knows he doesn't know anything, right? You know what the Most High has told you. You know what God has revealed to you. You should be very humble that, man, I don't, other than that, I have no idea. You know what I mean? And long suffering, because we all well, for the most part, unless you were born into the truth, you didn't know that you were an Israelite at one point in time. So, give people the benefit of the doubt that they're actually trying their best. Now, when you reach a point where you see that, this person's really, purposely, you know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of people, there are people that use the truth to do their sin. You know what I'm saying? They'll use the fact that they're an Israelite. Um, you have to treat me with respect, right? You have to, if I don't have much, I'm always asking you for money or something like that. Hawashai said, when I was poor, you didn't give me anything. So some people use that as to further their own agenda. And once you see that, then you can't keep falling into the trap. You have to use discernment in that aspect. But long suffering, because Yahushua said, forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. You know, he said I could have legions of angels come down here. You know what I mean? You honestly think that you have power over me? I'm letting you do this. And that's a spiritual mind state. Obviously, is Yahushua saying that, but spiritually, uh, being able to realize that if you're trying to get over on somebody, the Most High can see right through you, and He can end you tonight. He can end you immediately. You know what I'm saying? So being an Israelite is being humble, okay, being merciful towards people, meek and long suffering, being kind. Because the Most High is a God of judgment. Once He takes over, it's a wrap. Look at what happened with Florida and hurricane after hurricane coming through there, large hurricanes coming through there. Um, that's when the Most High had pretty much had enough and said, okay, now it's judgment time. And there's nothing anybody can do about it. You can't shoot a gun towards a hurricane. You can't fan a hurricane away. It's not going to happen. Okay. Can you read verse 13?
Verse 13. Forbearing one another and forgiving one another. If any man have a quarrel against any, even as the Mashiach forgave you, so also do ye.
John. So having an issue, brother apologize. He's sorry. You know what I mean? Forgive that brother. If he's not sorry, if he doesn't apologize, do yourself a favor and put it in the hands of the Most High. Don't dwell on it. Don't keep it going. You know what I mean? Because it'll eat you up. That person obviously doesn't care, because that person obviously is not apologizing. They think they're in the right. But you dwelling on it is going to make you feel a certain way. You know, it's going to make you tear you up inside. They don't care. So when you put it in the hands of the Most High, now God's going to be the judge, because He's the ultimate judge. And what He says goes ultimately. Okay. And as Christ forgave you, forgive them as well. He said, how many times are you going to forgive them? 70 times 70. Like, that's just like an infinite amount, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? Let you know. Somebody apologizes, forgive them. Now, there's also, this aspect of discernment. You know what I'm saying? Not Christianity. I brought this, uh, you know, um the analogy up before or whatever, this scenario. A person says, I need to borrow your car. You let them borrow your car. They crash up the car. You know what I'm saying? They get out of jail. They're running from the cops in your car. It gets banged up, and you're like, this person obviously is not to be trusted. You know what I mean? He comes back, he says, I apologize. Can I borrow your car again? You know what I mean? Like, you can forgive them, but you don't have to let them borrow your car again. You know what I'm saying? That's using discernment. You're looking at the person, he's smiling like, yeah, I'm about to do the same thing over again. You're able to have a spirit where you could, something's not right about this person. I don't trust this person. Do you know what I mean? If somebody comes up to you and says, "How you doing, brother? I'm a man of God," and you're like, "Oh, okay. What's your what? I'm thinking your social security number. Your social security number is what is your social security number? You're not supposed to. Oh, I'll tell you. Since you said you're a man of God, you got to have discernment, okay? And you give him your social security number and he uses it, buys a whole bunch of credit cards and houses in your name, and he comes back like, I apologize, brother. I did not mean that. Now, what's your social security number again? Oh, I forgive them, but you don't have to keep falling into the same trap because people are they're going to, you know, the Lord says he charges his angels with folly. Man's heart is wicked, is desperately wicked above all things, right? So people have these wicked hearts. You got to be able to see through that. Okay, but somebody that honestly makes a does something he's not supposed to do, and he apologizes. Forgive that brother. You know, Forgive that sister. Okay, but don't keep falling into the same traps. Let's go to Ecclesiastes 7, verse 9, because you'll get frustrated, you'll get angry. You know what I mean? But one thing you got to realize is that the Most High God is going to judge the situation. Now, it's whether you believe that. If you don't believe it, then you're saying, I have to do everything myself. I have to be angry. I have to watch out for this guy. Not saying don't watch out for him, but, spend time, hours, days, weeks looking out for this person, watching out for this person, but really not trusting in the Most High that he's the one doing these things. The Most High is the one that will look out for this person, meaning keep them away from you. The Most High is the one that will judge this person, you know, if they're, you know, whether they're sorry or not, they still could face a judgment from God. Now, if you believe that, it's like, all right, I'll let God deal with it. Or if you don't believe it, it's like, I have to do everything myself. All right, let's bring that out. Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and verse 9.
Kind of Shalaki Adawan. I think, did you have a question? Or I don't know if you heard him.
I think he said Khan. Uh,
I think you
No,
said Shalaki?
I came back when you was finishing up the last precept. I was asked what the last precept was.
oh, okay. Colossians 3, verse 12 to 13.
Con,
Khan Slaki. I thought you just said Khan. Dwada.
Khan. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7, verse 9. And everybody has it. Please say Khan.
con,
Khan.
Khan, verse 9. Be not hasty in thy spirit to be angry, for anger resteth in the bosom of fools.
Khan, you staying angry. Most High says, that's anger rests in the bosom of fools. You're really hurting yourself. That stress, that anger, that frustration that you're dealing with is not good for your body. It's not good for your heart. It's not good for your uh, digestion. You're all tight and wound up, because you're angry at something. You have to learn how to relax and let things go and put them in the hands of the Most High God. That's Hebrew etiquette. Why? Because look at all the past stories and examples of our ancestors leaning on the Most High and the things that he's done supernaturally. You know what I mean? Some amazing things that we've seen. He took down uh, the most powerful empire at the time Egypt, and they never recovered. Even to this day, a lot of the Egyptians conquered by the Egyptians were conquered, um, by Ishmael, and they took over. Esau conquered them, and a lot of them reside in Sudan. And at this point, Sudan is in a war. So he hasn't forgotten anything that the ancient Egyptians has done. He's continuing to destroy them. We got to look at those things. That's why we follow the Passover, read Exodus, um, so we understand that God will ultimately destroy a group of people that's bothering His chosen. Harden his heart. Oh, this happened, flies and boils and everything that's happening in ancient Egypt, and then Most High says, "No, I'm gonna harden his heart. I'm gonna give him a hard head that." The most obvious thing to do is to give up. I put my hands up. This is too much. Now let's keep going because the Most High continue to destroy him and show His power. Okay, so to walk around with a whole bunch of anger and resentment for somebody that wronged you, you got to put it in the hands of the Most High. You got to learn how to do that, right? Learn how to talk to God. Okay, read scriptures. Follow the law, statutes, commandments, and talk to them. Talk to them with reverence and respect, and then just know that something's going to happen. Just know that the Most High God is going to take care of the situation. Okay, so you don't have to walk around angry or frustrated. That's foolish. Walking around with a whole bunch of resentment, you're only hurting yourself. Let's go to Sirach chapter 21 and verse 15. So learning about our ancestors, learning about what they've been through, not forgetting the things that the Most High has done for you, you know, and that's something that we have to do better with, our own memories, write things down. That's why we have a Bible here. Great men have wrote things down. Men of renown have wrote things down for us to read during this time period that we living in. You know, so write things down. Wow, I can't believe it. I was driving and my car, I got a flat tire in the middle of nowhere. And, I went to change it. The spare was flat and I'm stuck. My phone's, I can't use my phone, no service. And I prayed to the Most High God, and somebody came, a guy from AAA just happened to be driving by, like, you need some help? I'm like, well, yeah. Well, I need help you. And he changed the tire because he had another spare on there. And you're like, wow, God just answered my question, or answered my prayer. 2 months later, you're like, why is God not answering my prayer? Why is this not, did you forget? Should write it down, write the date, the time. This is what happened. So, and revisit it. Like, this is amazing that the Most High God obviously heard my prayer because I prayed at this time. And then, we don't give God a time limit, but, I prayed at 9 o'clock. And then by 10 o'clock, somebody from AAA just happened to drive up. That's amazing. You know what I mean? That's like, boom, instantaneous, So when something inevitably goes wrong, which it will in this flesh, in this time period, you can revert back to that. He heard my prayer once, so he's going to hear it again, right? But of course, we got to be following these law, statutes, commandments. We can't be going off now and then pray and expect God to jump out of His seat and help us, send the angels to help us. Most High doesn't get out of His throne for anybody, but send the angels to help us. If we're not following what He says, then we're subjected to that, sitting there all night and all day, and the next day, then nobody driving by, and we don't want that, right? Let's bring that out. Sirach 21 verse 15.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 21 in verse 15, when everybody has it, please say,
Come.
Con.
verse 15. If a skillful man hear a wise word, he will commend it and add unto it. But as soon as one of no understanding heareth it, it displeased him, and displeased him, and he casted it behind his back.
Con. So a skillful man, not adding on to the scriptures, right? But you can read scripture and meditate on it, think about it in aspects of your life, and add on the understanding. Like, oh, okay, that makes more sense. Really building. That's what it is, building, not adding on to the scriptures because we don't do that, but building upon the wisdom that we get. You know what I mean? Um, Something might be written in the scriptures that you can relate to in your everyday life. I mean, a lot of stuff in the scriptures obviously you can relate to in your everyday life, but adding on to it in your mind, sitting back and contemplating and meditating on it. Some people will read, man, I read 17 chapters a day, but not taking any time to understand the chapters, understand what's saying, understand the scriptures line by line. You know what I mean? Um, and not building on it, just saying I read 17 chapters just to say it, like the Pharisees. I give tithes, I fast 2 times a day, and I'm not like that sinner over there. You know what I mean? Just to boast themselves up. You know what I mean? Add on wisdom, and it'll make you a person of higher understanding. Okay, when you can really relate to what's being written. Let's go to Psalm 34 and 18. But like it says, a man of no understanding will hear it and it displeases him, you know? If somebody gives you wise words and just toss it behind, I don't want to hear that, you know? Who cares? It's not important, But at the same time, it will affect them, not knowing anything, especially a time period like now. People that walk by the camp put their earphones in or across the street. And now they're like, why is Israel and Iran firing rockets back at each other? That seems like a war. You know what I mean? But at the time when, they were able to hear, when they had liberty, it displeased them and they threw it behind their back. Okay. Hebrew etiquette, we're not supposed to do that. Okay. Um, you can learn things from a scholar, biblical scholar. You can learn things from somebody that's living on the streets. You know what I'm saying? You can learn something from anybody, for real, you know, and you could add on to it. The way some people have got on the streets, like how did that happen? You can learn from what happened to them instead of waiting and it happens to you. I believe it's a quote, a smart person learns from their mistakes. A wise person learns from other people's mistakes. Okay. Let's bring that out. Psalm chapter 34, verse 18.
This is the book of Psalm, chapter 34, verse 18, when everybody has it. Please say,
Come.
Huh.
verse 18. The Lord is nigh unto them that are of a broken heart, and saveth such as be of a contrite spirit.
So think about it. Throughout this Bible, we have been through many captivities. You know what I mean? Think about an Exodus when, Pharaoh added on to our labor. You know, we cried out to the Most High. He heard our prayers. You know, when you're going through it, just don't think you're alone. You know, the contrite spirit's crushed spirit. Like, you know, you're full of heaviness and depression. You know what I mean? But you don't go to the bottle. You don't go to the pills, the Prozac. You don't go to uh the marijuana, the drugs, the um strip clubs, whatever, things that go against the law that, will temporarily think makes you feel better. You go to the Most High God. That's your go-to person. That's your go-to is the Most High God. He's nigh unto you. He's listening to you, you know. Um, he's paying attention to what you're asking of him. And that's the one thing that, I mean, not the one thing, but that's something that other nations don't have. You know what I mean? Other nations are they have their false gods, they don't have the one true living power to help them. Okay. So we gotta take advantage of this. Okay, Hebrew etiquette. Take advantage of the Most High God. Take advantage of your power. When I say take advantage, not like a negative thing, like getting over on him, but use him like he's telling you to. You know what I mean? This is what the scriptures say. He said, "Yo, come to me, all that are weary that need rest. Come to me." Okay. Let's go to James chapter 4 and verse 9. So when you're in a good mood, praise Yahweh Shem Yahushai. When you're in a sour mood, praise Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Go to him for everything, good, bad, or indifferent. And, you won't be like the hypocrites that wait until something, you never pray to God, never follow any law, statutes, commandments, don't read the Bible. And then when something bad happens, they pray, God, where are you? How come you're not listening to me? Where are we? You're supposed to be God. Or how come I'm not getting any help? Because when he was there, when he was listening, when he was giving you things and life was good, you were thinking that you were the best thing since sliced bread. Look at me. Look at me. I got all this. I accumulated all this worldly possessions and wealth and so forth and so on. So you never gave God the credit. And now when things go bad, you go to God. You know what I mean? You should go to him for everything. All right. As a Hebrew, we're set apart. So our God, only he knows only us. Okay. So he's listening out for us. Okay. Let's bring that out. James chapter 4 and verse 9.
When everybody has it, please say con.
Come.
Con, verse 9. Be afflicted and mourn and weep. Let your laughter be turned to mourning and your joy to heaviness.
Go ahead.
Humble yourselves in the sight of the Lord, and he shall lift you up.
Yes. So, he's nigh unto them that, have a broken heart, contrite spirit. Okay. Um, in the kingdom, it's gonna be all, we can't even imagine what it's gonna be. But on this side, you know, um, we're gonna have bad days, be honest, this is captivity. You know what I'm saying? This is definitely captivity. We're being threatened on every side. You know what I mean? If you're not paying attention, then of course you won't, you'll miss these things, right? But being threatened on every side. The election's coming up Tuesday, right? Uh, it's a good chance that Kamala will win. And it's also a good chance that the Trump supporters are going to turn up. That's why they're having these drills where helicopters are going in front of the Capitol and taking people up. They might have to evacuate the Capitol again. You know what I'm saying? Because of course, if and when Trump loses, he's going to say it was rigged. You know, and oh, everybody meet me at the Capitol. We're going to do the same thing again, and all this other stuff. So, and that they assume that the Democrats, of course, the Democrats have like a real diverse population of LGBTQ type people, you know what I'm saying? But they see us as the Democrats. The so-called black folks are the Democrats, and they can't get at these senators and congressmen. So what are they gonna do? They'll come after us, going to the cities. Oh, um, this is what happened. Um, they won, and a big part of it is because Philadelphia voted for Kamala Harris, and they'll come down here and start shooting. This is something that Esau does. So I say that to say we can't be naive. You know, you could always turn on a Netflix special, a comedy, a comedy. You know what I mean? A funny movie and stuff like that, and just be kind of just focused in on making yourself laugh and be entertained. But everything isn't funny. You know what I mean? So be afflicted, mourn, weep. Let your laughter be turned to mourning, your joy into heaviness. You know, one things brothers do, to not forget what's going on around you. Watch Django, watch 12 Years a Slave. You know what I mean? Watch a documentary on slavery. You can listen to uh our actual ancestors that were recorded, what they went through during slavery. They were alive. You know what I'm saying? They were alive to actually make these recordings, you know. Um, and you can see what our ancestors have gone through, see what we're continuing to go through. Brothers getting locked up doing 20, 30 years and didn't do nothing but walk to the store, you know? So when you cry out to the Most High, humble yourself in front of the Lord, you have to know that it ain't all sweet. You know what I mean? You walk around all happy. You're like, some people like, are really excited about living in America. I don't even want to talk about that. Oh, slavery is a long time ago. I heard somebody say that slavery was thousands of years ago, and they really believe that. So everything's good now, you know. But to the real Hebrews, right? When I say the real, meaning the Hebrews, the practicing that read their scriptures, to understand that you're behind enemy lines, you know, cry out to Yahweh Shemel Shai. Humble yourself in front of him, and he'll lift you up. Let's go back to Sirach, chapter 21. Let's see, Sirach 21 and verse 20.
Khan, this is the book of Ecclesiasticus, Sirach, chapter 21 and verse 20. When everybody has it, please say Khan.
Con.
Huh.
Khan, verse 20. A fool lifted up his voice with laughter, but a wise man doeth scarce smile a little.
Con. So, a fool thinks everything's sweet, you know what I mean? Everything's funny. You know what I mean? You talk about slavery, they're cracking up. You talk about our oppression, it's funny to them. You know what I mean? So, but now though, right? I'll say this, it is a blessing to be able to smile and see the fall of our enemies. Okay. That's one thing that's hilarious to me. And, I laugh at that all the time. You know what I mean? But it's still the Most High will bring you back to reality, and that somebody up the street just got killed last night in front of my house. You know what I mean? It's even though all these things going on, I would like my people to come back, right? I would like the so-called Black Hispanics and Native Americans to return and repent, but it's going to be a rough ride. You know what I mean? The Most High is going to judge Jake that continues to live in folly, um, whether it's being angry all the time, selling drugs, or just not coming back to what the Most High requires of us. Going to start seeing some terrible things happening, or continue to see terrible things happen to our people. You know, it'll be my prayer. You know what I mean, that everybody's saved, but it's not going to happen. You know, people are celebrating Halloween, and it was a guy literally in a Michael Myers mask with with an axe chopping people up. You know, and they didn't find him. You know what I mean? He did what he did, and nobody found him. But it's judgment of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. All right, let's go to St. Luke, chapter 23 and verse 9. So the Hebrew etiquette is, not thinking everything is hilarious all the time, just laughing like a fool. Okay. This is serious times we're living in. You got to put on your game face, wear your warlike apparel and go to work. Okay. And how we go to work? Do we go to work with a Jason mask and axe? No, God will have that happen. We go to work by reading the scriptures, following the laws, statutes, commandments, and teaching others to do so. All right. Praying, meditating, fasting, repeat, and teaching others to do so. Okay. Let's bring that out. Luke 23 and verse 9.
Con, this is the book of St. Luke, chapter 23 and verse 9. And everybody has it, please say con.
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 Con, verse 9. Then he questioned with him in many words, but he answered him nothing.
Con. So Yahushua is being questioned by somebody who's the highest in the land, right? Romans were running things at the time, right? Who do you think you are? You think, are you the savior? Are you this? I don't gotta say nothing to you, you know? And it was going through the mind of Yahweh like, man, I made y'all. I'm saying I made everything. But, you know, he's a man of a few words at the time, right? Um, let's go to Ecclesiastes 5 and 2. It's like I made all this. I tear it all up, But the one thing about keeping your thoughts to yourself, right, is that you learn. You can't learn by talking all the time. You get somebody who really can't shut up, doesn't listen, That's why what they say, that's why God gave you 2 ears and one mouth. Heard that saying before? Sitting back and just listening. What's the message that this person's trying to display? What's the message? Um, the elders get up to speak, and you see brothers just talking. You know what I mean? You're not listening to what the message is. What's the Spirit say to the churches? Sometimes you just got to be quiet and listen. All right, let's bring that out. Ecclesiastes chapter 5, verse 2.
Con, this is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 5 and verse 2. And everybody has it, please say con.
Con.
Oh.
Con, verse 2. Be not rash with thy mouth, and let not thy heart be hasty to utter anything before Yahweh. For Yahweh is in heaven, and thou upon earth. Therefore, let thy words be few.
Con, watch what you say when you're talking all the time. You might say something that you don't mean, or something that you do mean that you're struggling with, uh, that you might be working on. So watch the words that come out of your mouth, right? And you know, uh, when talking to the Most High God, like you don't want to say anything that you had to take back because you're talking to God. You know what I'm saying? I know somebody I grew up with. He had some tragedies in his life, his family. Um, you know, People got killed in his family and, deaths in his family back kind of like all around the same time. So he was really on some, God, why do you do this and do that? Like, but like angrily. I don't want to say the things that he was saying, but it caught up to him. He's not here anymore. So, you know, by your words you be justified, by words you will be condemned. Watch what you say out your mouth. Okay. And if you rash with the tongue, learn how not to talk. Okay. Learn how to listen. Hebrew etiquette. Listen to what's going on. You know, when for instance, you run into the police, everything you say can and will be used against you. So the police sometimes they just give an open door. How you doing today? Oh, I'm good, sir. You know what I mean? I'm just, going down the street, you know what I mean? I do have a gun in the car and I don't have a license, but it's okay. But I had a few drinks, you know what I mean? The weed in the back is not mine. And the cops are sitting there like, go on. It's like, yeah, okay, that warrant that I have, you're probably gonna see it, but it's like I was supposed to get that taken care of. So my lawyer said that I'm good, you know what I mean? But it might say that, I'm wanted, but you just gave everything, first of all, you shouldn't be doing any of that stuff anyway. But, you know, uh listening, the cop might have just been saying, hey, you got a broken tail light, have a nice day. But this guy he's a fool. He just spews out all these things. And the cop, open and shut case, you know. But I'm not giving anybody, a blueprint on how to get away with driving dirty with guns and drugs in the car. But I say that to say, listening um, is Hebrew etiquette. Just don't tell everybody your life story the minute you meet them. Okay, because as you can see, in this life as an Israelite, they'll write a 10-part book series on you. They'll do a 30-part YouTube video on you, and you know what I mean? And you're supposed to, confess your sins one to another. But you don't know this person. You're supposed to um they had to test them out, you know what I mean? You gotta try a friend, right? Paraphrasing. Let's go to James 1 verse 19. And just like a boxer counts his punches, right? You don't just go out there and, it's the person that doesn't know how to fight that just starts swinging his arms and everything like that. Boxer is, very calculated with his hands. So as an Israelite, be calculated with your words. Let's bring that out. James chapter 1 and verse 19.
When everybody has it, please say con.
Come.
Con.
Con, verse 19. Wherefore, my beloved brethren, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, slow to wrath.
So swift to hear. So you are listening out. You can hear things. You can hear what people are saying, um what the message is. Okay. Slow to speak. So hear first, speak, um, swift to hear, slow to speak, and slow to wrath. It's one video. I was going to play it, but I don't want any issues with. We shouldn't have any issues with copywriting anyway, since it's a fair use act. But it's Key and Peele skit where they're talking about text messaging, right? So the text messaging, he says, "Hey, how you doing? You ready to go out?" He says, "Well, yeah, I'm ready." And then the way he's interpreting it is like, "Well, here I'm ready." What's wrong with him? What I say something to him? Okay, if you want to go out, just let me know. And the guy's like, text messaging back, sure, I'm ready to go. Sure, I'm ready to go. What is it? You know what I mean? In his mind, he's saying a whole nother attitude and emotion and just being dismissive, like, sure, yeah, whatever. You know what I mean? And it's just getting lines crossed and text messaging. And, slow to wrath is like, maybe that's not what he meant by that. You know what I mean? Slow down. Let me give him a call. Hey, everything okay? Yeah, I'm fine. What's going on? Oh, it seemed like the way you were texting, it seemed that, you just didn't want to go. It's like, oh no, that's not it at all. Just got lines crossed for the most part. So, especially with social media and, be slow to wrath. Oh, this guy, he only gave me a thumbs up. He didn't heart my post, and that means he don't like me or something. You know what I mean? It could have been something totally different. And say on Facebook, you try to press the heart button and it slips to the laugh button, and now it's the laughing emoji. Like, I just said a heartfelt post, and this person's laughing at me. I hate him now. I hate her now. You know what I mean? But it's easy. You can just call up like, yo, why do you laugh at that post? Oh, no, I meant to do the heart. Oh, I didn't even notice that. So being slow to wrath and figuring out that everybody's not against you, you know what I'm saying? Or some people might. Like, yeah, I laughed. I thought it was funny. You were crying on your post and this, that, and they're like, oh, okay. Well, I don't have to deal with you anymore because you obviously um aren't the type of person I thought you were. You know what I'm saying? So, okay. Well, have a nice day. You know what I'm saying? Don't be the anger rest in your bosom. So you just mad all the time. And you know what I mean? 7 years later, you see him and you're cussing him out and everything. And he doesn't even remember what he did. He could have been at a really rough time in his life where he's just out of his mind, for the most part, whether it be drugs, alcohol, mental illness, or whatever, spirits on him. And he didn't even realize what he did. But you're just angry at him or her, you know, let things go. Let the Most High deal with it. Okay. And that person's already dealing with a lot anyway. So, Most High might add on to their distress or just leave it as it is. Okay. Either way, don't let it affect you. Okay. Can you read the next verse 20?
Verse 20. For the wrath of man worketh not the righteousness of Yahweh.
So your wrath isn't, um, it's not working the righteousness of the Most High God. All right. Be slow to anger. Let God deal with it. All right. Now let's go to Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 25. Being angry all the time, wanting to fight all the time, that's a spirit. You know what I'm saying? That's a spirit. You know, uh, Everybody's not gonna like you. If you're a Hebrew Israelite, a lot of people aren't gonna like you, okay? Because you're telling them that they shouldn't do this and they shouldn't do that, and they feel they can do whatever they want because ultimately they're bowing down the adversary. Ultimately, they're saying, "Do as thou wilt." Okay, and that's a large portion of the world. You know what I mean? The earth is given into the hands of the wicked. A large portion wants to do whatever they want and don't want any laws done. And even the Christians that say they follow God, that they read the Bible, they don't follow any of the Most High's feast days. You know what I'm saying? All man-made feast days, all do as thou wilt, and pagan traditions like Halloween. You got Christians that are calling the Israelites cult leaders or cult followers or whatever like that, but they're the ones dressing their children up as demons during Halloween, which is like the devil's day. I say that because Antoine LaVey, the what is he wrote the Satanic Bible, He said, I'm glad that Christian parents allow their children to worship the devil at least one day out of the year. So there's a lot of evil in this world. There's a lot of wickedness in this world. Okay. We got to combat that by following the law, statutes, commandments, and not being, uh, just falling into the traps of the devil. Okay. Let's bring that out. Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 25.
Con, this is the book of Ephesians, chapter 5 and verse 25. When everybody has it, please say Con.
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 Con, verse 25. Husbands, love your wives, even as Yahweh also loved the church and gave himself for it.
Con. So we have to love our wives. You know what I mean? People have a different interpretation with love sometimes, right? Like, I love you. That's why I punch you in the eye every night. That's not love. But if that person was taught that through what he saw happen in his household and down the line, then he really believes that that is love. You know what I mean? Yahushua wasn't punching us in the eye. He could have. Yahushua could have been bodying everybody he's seen that didn't agree with him, but he tried to win them over, and come to find out the Pharisees and Sadducees, like, they were trying to trip him up and to get him out of here. So he's seen that, but he dealt with Nicodemus, talked to him, you know what I mean, gave him some good information. He could have said, get the hell out of here, leave me alone. I don't want to talk to you guys. You guys are always trying to trip me up and this, that, and the third. But he saw them, individually. You know what I mean? So if the Most High gave you a wife, you know, um, you're lucky enough to have one. You know what I'm saying? That is aiming to follow the law, statutes, commandments. Knowing she's the weaker vessel.
What you
You know what I
lying about
mean?
your times?
Knowing that she's the weaker vessel. Be patient. And women on the other side, don't be busybody and everybody's business, addicted to drama, and then bringing that back home. Let me tell you what happened. Oh, this was crazy, and this, and the third. That's a whole nother type of energy. We don't need that. you know we should be focusing on building each other up as best we can in the conditions that we're in. you know but but love is not, violent and angry. It says, the wrath of man worketh not the righteousness of God. So that wrath that you have, you might be mad at work and you come home and take it out on your wife and then kick your dog and then pour out the goldfish down the toilet. Like, you're just doing the most. You got spirits on you. You got to cut that out. That's not Hebrew etiquette. That's stuff in the world. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's how you treat your woman, man. You gotta beat her first. You know what I'm saying? That she know not to mess with you and this, that, and the third. That's a lot of niggerdom, man. You gotta cut that out. If you're in that type of relationship, you shouldn't be in that type of relationship to begin with. You know what I mean? Always arguing back and forth. You're gonna have disagreements. You know what I mean? You're gonna have disagreements. But if that's just constantly every day, you just fighting and then making up, that's a toxic relationship. And 9 times out of 10 is somebody that's being the perpetrator of that toxic relationship. You know what I mean? Somebody, the other person might be on their defensive, and it goes back and forth. But if that's the way you've been your entire life, you got to be honest with yourself. Like, this is me, but you have to change. That's not gonna, you can't go in front of the Heavenly Father by, yo, this is how I am. You know what I'm saying? Take it or leave it. Well, he's going to leave it. Okay. Let's go to Ecclesiasticus chapter 4 and verse 30. Because now, we've been Willie lynched, we've been through the slavery. We understand that psychologically we've been really beaten down. Physically, absolutely, but now it's really psychological. Um, it does get physical, of course, but the psychological warfare on us is immense. All right. So we have to understand that. You have to be honest. Okay. And, our women have been propped up through what's his name? Esau, the Edomites, to destroy the family. So women have a responsibility not to allow that to happen. Okay. You are now responsible. Um, things that might have been taught to you younger by your mother, father, whatever. You don't need no man. You a strong, independent woman and all this other stuff, which no Asian, white people, nobody says that but us. You don't need no man. I'm gonna tell you, what did Biggie say? Give my daughter this college plan. She don't need no man. You know what I mean? So going into a relationship, saying I really don't need you, and having that attitude in everything you do, it's detrimental to the relationship, because a man's like, okay, well, you don't need me, I don't need you, I'll find somebody else, and you'll keep on going from man to man looking for what they quote unquote a good man, but you're never going to find it because of your attitude. All right. Because men ultimately have options. Okay. And that's just, it's crafty counsel. It's crafty counsel from the Edomites, but once you know better, you have to do better. All right. And that could be part of the arguments as well. All right, let's go to Ecclesiasticus chapter 4 and verse 30.
This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, Sirach, chapter 4 and verse 30. When everybody has it, please say Khan.
Gone.
Ah,
Khan, verse 30. Be not as a lion in thy house, nor frantic among thy servants.
Khan. So who wants to live with a lion? You know, who wants to live with somebody that's always aggressive, always threatening? You know what I mean? Always doing the most, just loud for no reason. They drink alcohol and turn into a damn demon. You know what I mean? And everything is everybody else's fault other than them. Who wants to live with somebody like that? And don't be frantic among thy servants. You have to, treat people a certain way. Treat people the way you want to be treated, and it'll get the most out of them. They'll want to help you. They'll want to be there for you. But if you find a bunch of people turning their backs on you, it possibly could be you. And the thing about it, what you don't realize is it can be difficult for some people to look in the mirror and say, you know what, it's me. I have to change. But if you're always on the defensive and saying it's everybody else, then you're actually you know on your way to a pit, because everybody want to be around you. You're too angry, you're too aggressive, you're too this, you're too that. You're not long suffering, you're not meek, you're not humble, you're not kind, you're just a mean and nasty person. What kingdom are you going into? But I follow the law, statutes, commandments. Well, listen, the righteous shall scarcely be saved. There's going to be a lot of people in that day that are burning up with thermonuclear destruction that are wearing fringes, be weeping and gnashing of teeth. The Edomites know they're not making it for the most part. Other nations, they don't know where they're going, up or down, left or right. But a lot of that weeping and gnashing of teeth is going to be our people. It's like the kingdom of heaven is like casting a net. You know what I mean? And a whole bunch of people in there in that net. You got to pick out the pearls, pick out the jewels. Okay. paraphrasing. Let's go to Romans chapter 12 and verse 2. So don't be a lion in your house, okay? Because God will pay you back. Trust and believe if you are a tyrant with your vessel, says the weaker vessel, God will destroy you. And when you are destroyed, you know, it's going to be obviously why. It's going to be obviously known why. Let's bring that out. Romans chapter 12, verse 2.
Khan, this is the book of Romans, chapter 12 and verse 2. When everybody has it, please say Khan.
Con.
Khan, verse 2. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of Yahweh.
Con. So you can't be conformed with this world. You came out of the world. How are you in the world? Hebrew etiquette is different than nigger etiquette to ho is life etiquette. It's a big difference. If you try to bring that into the truth and to think that's going to fly, it's not. You have to change. You have to be conformed. You have to renew your mind. In the world, I used to do this, but now I'm an Israelite, I do that. In the world, if somebody bothered me, I used to pop the trunk. I used to wait outside their house in the bushes. I used to bring it to their doorstep. I used to do all these things. All right, ready to burn down their crib, you know, do anything to get back at somebody. Now, I understand that God will get back at them. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to risk 25 years to life. I don't have to risk aggravated assault charge. I don't have to risk being on camera stabbing somebody. God will do it. You understand? The Most High will do it. You know? And if you're in the truth long enough, you'll be able to see these things happen pretty much on a daily basis. You know what I mean? You know, you don't have to go through things on a daily basis, but it happens so often that it's like, man, I was risking Fed time when if I would have learned this and, you know, build upon it rather than taking it and throwing it behind me, right? Like the scriptures say, then life would have been a lot smoother. But we live and we learn and we teach others. Okay. So you have to renew your mind. You have to change. That is Hebrew etiquette 101. Changing. You know, I wear fringes, but I do the exact same thing I've been doing my entire life. That's not going to work. It's not going to work at all. Let's go to Proverbs 16 and verse 31. And we have to prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of Yahweh. Would God want me to do this? Is this what the scriptures say? Or does it say, be on the straight and narrow? Don't go to the left. Don't go to the right. One person at a time. You know, what is the will of the Most High God? We fear him and we keep his commandments. The whole duty of man. You can't fear God by doing negative things to say your spouse. He made you one flesh, and here you are destroying that part of you. And the Most High says, you know what I mean? We talk about this, you know, you're the temple of the Most High God. You defile the temple, he's going to destroy you. We talk about that with, you know, smoking and somebody smoking and, you know, destroying their body that way. But you destroying your household, you know, that could be seen as you know, you're ultimately destroying yourself. You're feeding into that demon that's on you. You're not fasting. You're not reading in the morning and at night. When you may watch a few camp videos, but at the same time, the demons are feeding off you and you can't even see it. So what's going to happen? God's going to destroy you. Let's bring that out. Proverbs 16, verse 31.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 16 and verse 31. When everybody has it, please say Khan.
Con.
Huh.
Khan, verse 31. The hoary head is a crown of glory, if it be found in the way of righteousness.
Huh. So the older generations, you know what I mean? Those have gray hair, has been here a while. You know, it's a crown of glory if it be found the way of righteousness. But you'll have some older people that are just totally off, and they've been off, you know. And then when you get to a certain age, it's like you can't teach an old dog new tricks. That's not true to an extent because it's really in the way Yahweh Shem Shai wants you to wake up, right? Because there's plenty of people that found out they were Israelites way into their twilight years or whatever you want to call them. And well, that makes perfect sense. Let me repent and keep these commandments. But it's something that's like, man, I've been doing this my entire life. I don't plan on changing now, you know. So let me just keep on going. You'll have situations where everything sounds good. Yeah, I don't eat pork. Yeah, I can chill on the Sabbath. I can wear these fringes. I can do that. And they say, okay, you can't eat shrimp. Whoa, no eating shrimp, no eating crabs. Like something as simple as that. Man, I've been doing that my entire life, and I don't plan on stopping anytime soon. You know what I mean? So it's a crown of glory if be found in the way of righteousness. And what's righteousness? Following the law, statutes, commandments written in the Bible. Okay. Now let's go to Ecclesiasticus chapter 32 and verse 9. So we have to give double honors. Do you know what I'm saying? To the elders that are following these laws, statutes, commandments, and teaching us to do so. You know, we have elders in HOI that have been in the truth for decades, longer than some of us been alive. You know what I mean? So and and following after the law, statutes, and commandments, not just saying, yeah, I'm an Israelite, but I don't do anything, and when God sends the son back, he's gonna take me. You know what I mean? Just completely sure of their election, but aiming to make their election sure. So those are the ones that get double honors. You know what I'm saying? Ultimate respect. Do you know what I mean? Things of that nature. Let's bring that out. Ecclesiasticus chapter 32 and verse 9.
Khan, this is the book of Ecclesiasticus, Sirach, chapter 32 and verse 9. And everybody has it. Please say Khan.
Con.
Con.
Khan, verse 9. If thou be among great men, make not thyself equal with them. And when ancient men are in place, use not many words.
See, now that's important because, all right, say our elders been in the truth for 30 years, and you get somebody that's been in the truth 3 months. You know what I mean? Like, man, I know him. You know what I mean? When I was at the feast day, he had 3 pieces of chicken. I had 4. He couldn't even eat 4 pieces of chicken like me. You know, he had 2 cups of wine. I had 7 cups of wine, and I was still good. Yeah, I might have been slurring a little bit, and I tripped over the table and stuff like that, but I'm good. You know, I'm just like that guy. You know, just like him. And it's the one thing that people do compare themselves to others, you know. For the most part, we got our modeling and learning from somebody, whether it be the drug dealer outside, whether it be your father, whether it be um, friends at school, what I mean, or be your mother, you know what I'm saying? We model after people, especially at a certain age. You might be 7 and that person's 10, and that's like, wow, you look up to him, he's 10 years old. Wow, you know what I mean? So we model after people. Some people never never get past that. They're always doing that, always comparing themselves to somebody else. But instead of reverencing and saying, taking the best part of them and saying, I like how this person does that, but I don't like how they do this. So I'm just gonna, use that part, use the best part of them. They make comparisons and try to bring the other person down in order to bring themselves up. And that's an issue in Israel, it's an issue in our community, as a whole, not just Israelites, but community as a whole. And we definitely gotta be aware of it and do better. That's the key. It's talking about Hebrew etiquette. We got to do better. Don't compare yourself to anybody else to make them look bad and make you look good. Because anybody that has a ounce of wisdom or whatever can see right through it. You're not sure of yourself. You're at a certain age where you should be, um, highly aware of who you are. You're an Israelite. You keep the law, statutes, commandments. God will listen to you. Um, Good things will happen. You're gonna get tested, but still more good things than bad things will happen to you for the most part, right? But you're still stuck on stupid, man. You know what I mean? You're still stuck in third grade, fourth grade, you know, living your second, third, fourth, fifth childhood. All right. When you see somebody that has been waking up people for decades, we look at Elder Zabak, Elder Torah, right? Just those two examples. They could put out a video that gets spliced and diced and gets sent all around the four corners. And you don't know where those video goes. Do you know what I mean? And those videos, those spliced little 1 minute videos on Instagram or TikTok or whatever can go to wake up a whole country. You know what I'm saying? A whole city, you know? A Starlink satellite in the Amazon, could get a part of one of their videos translated. And it could be a video they made 10 years ago, 20 years ago, translated. And all of a sudden, now they realize that they're Israelites. You know, that's amazing. You got to look at that and say that, all praise to the Most High to know somebody like that, that could have um, that the Most High gives them the power to do that. All right. And don't, oh, I'm just as good as them. I could break down John 3:16 too. Come on, man. Humble down. When you're around them, don't use many words. Listen, you know what you know already. You know what I mean? You might know a lot, but you might not know what they know. 30 years in this thing. So it's a blessing from Yahweh Shem Shai to be able to sit at a table with elders and just listen to what they're saying. You know what I'm saying? Not eavesdropping, like, what, you know what I mean? Getting your phone out and recording, like, what are they saying? What are they saying? Like, not like that, but you get to be able to sit there and listen to what they're saying. You learn a lot. You learn more than you knew before. Let's go to Luke 14:7. If you listen, if you disregard what they're saying, you disregard the wisdom that they're saying and throw it behind you, then yeah, he's going to be in the same boat you always been in. But now if you listen and apply and build on what they're saying, then it could potentially make you a better person. All right. Let's bring that out. Luke chapter 14 and verse 7.
This is the book of St. Luke, chapter 14 and verse 7. When everybody has it, please say Khan.
Come.
Con.
Verse 7. And he puts forth a parable to those which were bidden. When he marked how they chose out the chief rooms, saying unto them, when thou
Con.
art bidden of any man to a wedding, sit not down in the highest room, lest a more honorable man than thou be bidden of him.
Con. So it goes with humility as well. To be an Israelite and then not to be humble, which ironic, unfortunately, that does exist. Okay, to speak bluntly, that does exist. People like, oh, I'm third under HOI. Everybody's gonna be under me, and da, 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 da. And like, who told you this? You know what I'm saying? There's plenty of that. There's some people that express it verbally on the internet, and there's some people that think that. You know what I mean? That won't say it, but that's how they carry themselves. You know what I mean? Humility is important in this day and time, man. You know, look at all the things that we don't know. You got to humble yourself, right? So going into a wedding, like, this is where the elders sit. I'm sitting right here. You know what I mean? And that might not work out good for you. Go ahead.
Verse 9. And he that bade them, Salakia, and he that bade thee, and him come and say to thee, give this man place, and thou begin with shame to take the lowest room.
So now somebody's like, oh, my man, you got to sit over there. You know, you thinking you know what I mean? Like, but I'm me. I got to give my seat up. So the lack of humility can transfer into resentment. Like, who is this guy that he's telling me to move? And who is this guy that I'm moving for? So now you could resent that, but it could all been um alleviated if you would have just been humble. You know what I mean? Go ahead, read next verse.
Verse 10. But when thou art bidden, go and sit down in the lowest room, that when he that bade thee cometh, he may say unto thee, friend, go up higher. Then shalt thou have worship in the presence of them that sit at meat with thee.
So you sit in the lowest seat. You know what I mean? Be humble, and somebody might say, "Oh, what do you? Come on up here. You sit up here." You know what I mean? And then that you know, that's a lot better than somebody telling you to go back there and sit down. You know what I'm saying? So the humility is important in Hebrew etiquette. Okay, we all have to be humble, but the thing about it is we know something that a lot of people don't know. You know what I mean? A lot more scriptures. So your head can get puffed up. It shouldn't. You know, it's not an excuse, but you have to be aware of that. Am I overboard? Am I doing too much? Ask yourself. You have to examine yourself before you get visited. Before that day, examine yourself. All right. So you don't get stuck out there. All right. Can you read verse 11?
Verse 11. For whosoever exalteth himself shall be abased, and he that humble himself shall be exalted.
So if you think you the best thing since sliced bread, the Most High gonna bring you down. If you just happy to be here, like King David, right? He's the king, and he said, "Man, I if I could be a doorman in the kingdom of heaven, I'm good." You know what I mean? That's the humility type time. I'll hold the door for y'all if I can. You know what I mean? At the end, can I come in too? You know what I'm saying? Rather than being, I'm the third. Oh, man, in fact, I'll probably be, you know what I mean? I'll be right next to Yahushua, man. That's my brother. You know what I'm saying? So you like my little brother. You know what I mean? Like you just going off. That's going off. Okay. So you got to humble yourself in this walk. That is Hebrew etiquette, humility. Let's continue on. Let's go to Sirach, Ecclesiasticus, verse 30, chapter 37, verse 19. All right. Um, and you can see that coming up the last couple of days, last couple videos was bringing out that Moab. I went to a store in Moab, like, hi, how you doing? And you know what I mean? It wasn't on that type of yeah, what do you want? Just give me your money, just drop the change on the ground and tell you to pick it up and get the hell out. You'll be back. You'll all be back. It wasn't that type of time. He's like, yeah, okay. You need anything else? And hold on. He came around the counter, opened the door for me as I was leaving. I'm like, oh, okay. King of the castle, king of the castle. You know what I mean? But it felt good because that's gonna be life. Instead of always getting the short end of the stick or, always getting treated poorly, you know, these other nations are going to soon quickly realize that World War III is here. The things that Hebrew Israelites, people that wear fringes, that go out to the highways and byways, what they're saying was correct. America's collapsing, and it's only going to get worse. Babylon has fallen, reading from the scriptures and bringing it out to the people that they're going to say, oh man, so God is with you. I'm going to, mind if I hang out a little bit? Yeah, go out there and mow the lawn. You know what I'm saying? But see that cotton out there, go out and pick it. That's going to be the reality. Okay. So we're going to be exalted, but uh, we just got to just knock off that know-it-all mentality that some Hebrew Israelites have. But let's bring that out. Sirach chapter 37 and verse 19.
This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, Sirach, chapter 37 and verse 19. When everybody has it, please say Khan.
Come.
Khan.
Verse 19. There is one that is wise and teacheth many, and yet is unprofitable to himself.
Khan. So you can't be teaching people how to live and how to be, and you're doing the opposite, and it's not profiting you any. You know what I mean? How does the profit? Where do you get that? Where's your profit come from? It come from, finances and things of that nature. It can. That could be part of it, but being profitable, you follow these laws, statutes, commandments. You don't, I don't eat pork. I wear fringes. I have a beard, but I treat my brother and sister like crap. That's not going to work. That's not going to work. Yahushua talked about that. You know what I mean? Love your neighbor as yourself, right? And love them and love the Most High God. Okay, that's important. That's important. You have to be able to get along with people going into the kingdom. You know what I mean? You have a king, I'm on the throne mentality and nobody can tell me anything, and I'm going into the kingdom. Everybody's going to be, exalted, right? Every 144,000 is going to be exalted and be the rulers, right? So you're like, oh, I'm it and I'm that. Look, you're being unprofitable. You have to practice what you preach. Literally, practice what you preach. Okay. Now, of course, if you're preaching that you should be able to do this and, should be able to do that to your own people, not talking about the heathens, talking about your own people, then something's not, you read you're reading the wrong book. You might be reading the Talmud or something of that nature, but you're not reading the scriptures as it's written. All right. So be wise and teach others and practice what you preach. All right, let's go to Sirach 40 and verse 29. Sirach 40 and 29. We got it. Bring it out.
This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 40 and verse 29. Everybody has it. Please say
Come.
Con.
verse 29. The life of him that dependeth on another man's table is not to be counted for a life, for he polluted himself with other men's meat. But a wise man, well nurtured, will beware thereof.
Con. So, I have a quick story, right? It was somebody from around this area. He was going to be a first round pick, right? As soon as he signed his name on the dotted line, he was going to get $20 million. Easy, right? And he was such a monster on the field. You know what I mean? He's a football player, monster on the field that he would have been in McDonald's commercials of, the little kid like, can I have your autograph or here's a fry, you know what I mean? 'Cause he's like 6'7", 6'8", 270, 80 pounds, but ripped. You know what I mean? Some guys, 280 pounds, got the gut and everything like that, put together because, they run, they're playing, you know what I mean? All this, but this guy was like ripped, right? And, six pack, you know what I'm saying? He looked the part of uh, a prototypical um, dominant football player, right? And I knew him when he was in ninth grade, and he was that big back then, right? So he went to school, college, and everything. Like the week before he was about to get drafted, and it's it's outside of Philadelphia, so it's like kind of like small towns, you know what I'm saying? And he was real friendly. Everybody loved him, you know what I'm saying? So, and he had a real core group of friends, and they knew, just like I knew, and everybody knew, he was gonna look out for his folks. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't the type to, uh, you know, make millions of dollars and then leave. You know what I'm saying? That's just not in him. He was a real nice guy, real meek, real humble, right? Messing with the Edomite though, right? Messing with this Edomite chick. The Edomite said that the same thing, Rosewood, every other time, every other, go back in history, what does the Edomite woman say? He probably told her, like, you're fun for now, but, you know what I mean? I don't need you. You know what I mean? It might have been like an argument. I have no idea, right? But she said that he took it, right? Without, algorithms and all that. He took it. So it's front page news, plastered all over. And then when the trial came and everything, come to find out, he didn't do it. I knew he didn't do it. Like women were fighting over him. He's not the type to be taking anything. He didn't have to do that. We're not saying dudes have to do that. Some guys are just sick and that's what they want to do. But because I worked in prison, so I understand that like these guys are just, some of them just really upstairs, they just ain't right. But I knew he didn't. As soon as I heard about it, I knew he didn't do it, right? So when I found out that he didn't do it, that's on page 30 something in the middle of the magazine or middle of the newspaper and all sort of stuff. But I say that to say people could have possibly been, I'm not sure that they were, but people could have possibly been like, damn, as soon as he signs that John, I'm gonna be his head of security. As soon as he signs that contract, he's gonna put me on as his accountant. He knows I'm good at math. As soon as he signs that John, he's gonna be um, I'll be his driver or butler or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because it would have been all in the family because that's what the type of person he was. But if they depended on another man's table, and then come to find out a lie broke all that part off. He didn't get drafted at all. You know what I'm saying? He had to build himself back up to even start playing again, cross seas because he's still a beast, you know what I mean? But all you had to do is have that over top of you, especially your Jake. Oh, he got accused of that. Just like the brother that made Black Panther. No, 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 not Black Panther. What was it? What was that? 12 Years a Slave, If anybody knows, come off mute and let me know. I know it came out the same time as Black Panther, and he got accused. Oh, no. Birth of a Nation. Birth of a Nation, right? They accused the director of like the same thing, or doing something inappropriate in college, which he got off on. I mean, he got off meaning he got found innocent, but it didn't matter because now that he's coming out with this powerful movie that they put on, they brought out the same time as Black Panther. So either you're gonna see Black Panther in Wakanda Forever, or you're gonna see Birth of a Nation, which we know revised version, not the racist KKK version, but revised version. They brought that out. Oh, in college, he got accused of doing this, that, and the third. And, just Esau will keep that over your head that, it's a possibility that you were guilty, even though you were found innocent. So nobody picked him up. He didn't go to the NFL. And we got to depend one thing on Yahweh Shem Yahushai, of course, in everything. That's the main thing. You depend on the Most High, you know. But what you don't do is depend on somebody else to put food on your table. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, I thought, and it could end up being resentment. Like, damn, we were supposed to be rich. We were supposed to do this. We were supposed to do that. And it was like, we? No, I was gonna help you out, right? I was gonna look out for you, but at the same time, don't depend on me to put food on your family. I mean, food on your table for your family. All right. If you don't work, you don't eat. You got to get it, because then resentment comes. And I don't like this person because of this. And I don't like this person because of that. Man, you your own man. We might be tight, we might be clicked up, but at the same time, you got to do for yourself. That's very important. Hebrew etiquette, do for yourself. All right. Put everything, put the Most High in front for everything. Okay. Talk to the Most High. What should I do? Should I do this? What do you think? Is this good? He might give you a dream, might give you a vision, might have somebody just walk up to you and give you the answer. It's plenty of ways the Most High can give you the answer, or you could get it in your head, the answer in your head. But don't depend on others to feed you. All right. Do for yourself. The life of a beggar ain't no life, man. All right. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 5. We're going to end on that. Hebrew etiquette, how we should be acting, how we should be moving. These are the words of the Most High God. This is what God says we should do. This is what God says how we should act. This is how God says we should treat each other. Not the things that you learned in the world and bringing it into the truth and thinking that's going to work. It's not. All right. That's not to say, you might have a way with words in the world and you can bring it to the truth, you know what I mean, to wake up your people. But if you want some, you was a ratchet, mean, nasty person in the world, I'm going to bring that in the truth. Nah, keep that where it's at. Keep it gone. All right. Let's bring that out. Proverbs 3, verse 5.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 3 and verse 5. When everybody has it, please say Con.
God.
Verse 5. Trust in the Lord with all thy heart, and lean not unto thy own understanding.
It's like it. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. It doesn't say trust in man, depend on another man's table. It says trust in the Lord with all thy heart and lean not on thy own understanding. Go ahead.
In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths.
So acknowledge Yahweh Shem Yahushai. All right. He will direct your path. You know what I mean? If you're a Hebrew Israelite, you have unbelievable amount of access to the maker of heaven and earth. You know what I'm saying? When I say access, you have his ear. Okay. He's gonna listen to you way before he listens to any Moabite or Ammonite or Edomite. You know what I'm saying? Or any other mite that ain't no Israelite. Okay. He's gonna listen to you before any of that. Okay. So speak to your father. Okay. Go ahead.
Be not wise in thy own eyes. Fear the Lord and depart from evil.
Khan. You don't know it all. Nobody does. All right. The Most High does. So that's who you should talk to. That's how you should get your information from. Okay. Fear him. Ain't your homie. Ain't you, hey, what's going on? You know, no, no, no. Fear him. You pray. Don't, have a whole bunch of words and da, 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 and then da, 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 and da, da, da. I know it says pray without ceasing, but kind of get to the point. You know what I mean? Kind of let's wrap this up. Okay. Um, It's really, pray without ceasing is, your thoughts are, can be your prayers. So, when you're thinking, think on Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Just not just babbling though. You know what I'm saying? Um, so fear him, okay, and depart from evil. Okay. And that's, fear of the most high is beginning of wisdom. That's you can't be wise and think that, oh, God knows my heart and I could do this and get away with it. It's not reality. Okay. Um, Now let's go to the next verse, Slakia, verse 8.
Verse 8. It shall be healthy to thy navel and marrow to thy bones.
Khan, health to thy navel, marrow to thy bones. Keep you going, sustain you. All right. So that is Hebrew etiquette. All right. Um, and in these last days, we gotta tighten up. All right, we gotta tighten up. The Most High is taking people out of here left and right. Um, Places people have been, sleep in a house. People come in a house, kill them. People out doing Lord knows what on the Sabbath, gone. People going out for Halloween. Just should have been in your house. I ain't mess with that, that wicked holiday. You know what I'm saying? Nah, not holiday, but you know what I'm talking about. That wicked day. People getting hit by cars, accidents. You know what I'm saying? People getting chopped with an axe by a person in a Michael Myers mask. Some 17-year-old down in Florida shooting up the damn Halloween party, the damned Halloween party, right? 17 years old, two bodies, and I think six other people hurt, shot, trampled. You know what I mean? Um, yeah. Listen, we got to get back to our etiquette. We got to get back to who we are. We got to tighten up. All right. These we are living in the last days, and we're waiting right now, as we speak, for Iran to bomb Israel, and Israel is ready to bomb Iran. We don't know who's going to bomb who first. They got Apache helicopters in the air right now trying to shoot down drones. Now, is this the beginning of the missile attack, which they said is going to be a lot worse than before? Like before, 80 to 90% of Iranian missiles hit their target. And apparently Israeli um, bombing did enough damage that the Ayatollah said, we're going to respond. America's bringing in warships. All these things are happening. We got to tighten up. Don't get me started with China and Taiwan. Don't get me started with Ukraine and Russia. It's crazy everywhere. All right. So let's tighten up and be focused. Pray to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. And Shabbat Shalom. All right. So we're going to close out in prayer. Give you a couple minutes to get some olive oil as well. So we can you know, read the anointing prayer, pray the anointing prayer. And so if you want to stand and face the east, prostrate and face the east, now would be the time. And like I said, when I come back, we'll go with the prayers, and you can anoint your head with oil. Matter of fact, you can start off and anoint your head with oil, and we'll pray. And yeah, end the class. So feel free. Go ahead. Got some time. Okay, this is the Lord's Prayer in ancient Paleo Hebrew, Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Quadash, Ayah, Shemka, Yahweh, Malachwaka, Taba'ah, Ratazaka, Ayah, Aisha, Baratazah, Kawa, Ayah, Bashamayim, Natananawa, Lacham, Cow, Yowam, Wasalafnawa, Kabawaf Nawa, Kasalaf Nawa, Kabawaf Nawa, Wala'a, Dabi Nawa, Banasai 1, Abal, Hawashai Nawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Amalakwaf, Wa'ala, Watapalraf, Libanumnum, Aman. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 6 and verse 9. After this manner, therefore, pray ye, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. Amen. Shema Yasharallah Yahweh Hayanawa Yahweh Aha Shema Yasharallah Yahweh Hayanawa Yahweh Aha Shema Yasharallah Yahweh Hayanawa Yahweh Hear, O Israel, Yahweh our power, Yahweh is one. Deuteronomy 6, verse 4. Creole of Israel, Hallelujah, Hallelujah, Hallelujah. Kom Yashala. All right. And here's the anointing prayer. Yabaraki Yahweh, Shamarkar, Ay Yahweh, Hun Yahweh, Anyakar, Hunyakar, Yasha Yahweh, Hun Yahweh, Anyakar, Shemnakar, Shalom, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Hamashiach, Yahushai, Babakashar, Shemai, Nawa, Aitha, Shalak, Micah Allah, Elohim, La, Shemaiah, Barak, Rapar, Azar, Magun, Kazak, Atazar, Bawa, Yasha Allah, Yasha Allah, Yasha Allah, Kol, Akim, Kol, Akwathium, Kol, Buniam, Yasha Allah, Ba'ashem, Hamashiach, Yahushai, Dawada, Aliyah, Aliyum, Amen. Yeah. All praises, all praises. All right. So everybody, hopefully we learned some Hebrew etiquette, you know. We put the worldly stuff behind us, aim for the kingdom of heaven, the next level of our evolution, you know what I mean? As you can see, the picture from, from slavery to being Negroes, to being Black, to being African American, to being Hebrew Israelites, and having our crowns and ruling in the kingdom to come. So beginning to act different, think different, move different, all in accordance with being who the Most High God wants us to be. So let's focus in on that. And Hom Yashala, we got next. Shabbat Shalom.